Welcome. It's
Thank
great
you.
to have you here. You can see the excitement.
It's great to be here. You guys, I watch you every morning while I'm doing my exercise. I'm usually in my underwear, but you don't see me. So
It's so nice of you to put on pants today.
I mean, you know, that's
Not
an
everybody
image,
does,
that's an image
right?
we'll try and keep in our mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when we look into the camera, we're going to see you in your underwear.
Sort of like Romper Room with the magic mirror.
Got it.
Thank you for watching. Perhaps we'll give you some ideas for a futuristic novel.
No, I'm just starstruck to be here.
Tell us about this. I mean, Dennis Rader, the guy who's this real-life sort of...
The BTK
He was the
model.
prototype for the guy in my story, and he murdered 10 people. 2 of them were children, and he had a long marriage, 2 kids of his own, and his wife said after he was caught that she never knew. She never had a clue of what he was doing and this secret life that he had. And so I started to think, I wonder how many of us are sleeping with strangers and what we really know about the people that we think we're close to. So this story came out of it, and I wanted to follow it.
What would we do, Stephen, if we found that they had really done something horrible? That's as scary as it was. It did make you think, how would I handle a situation like that? I think I'd be calling 911. But for other people, it made you think.
Well, part of the thing with Joan Allen's character, Darcy, is there are 2 kids. One of them is about to get married, and the other one has just started in business, and she's thinking, if this comes out right now, my kids' lives are going to be ruined.
Now, this is the first time you've written a screenplay in 25 years, is that right?
It's been a long time. I did a screenplay for a movie called Pet Sematary. We scared a few people with that.
Wait, you know, this is because you are so charming and interesting and apparently seem normal in person. What draws
There's nothing creepy about you.
There's nothing creepy about you, and yet you write really creepy stories. Why is that?
Well, I mean, it's a little bit like what we were talking about with a good marriage. Sometimes there are other people inside that we don't always let out in public. Now, I sort of do that because I write the stories, but, you know, I had a very normal childhood. But of course, I'd say that, wouldn't I?
Yes.
But is there someone creepy inside, Stephen?
Yeah, I'd say there's somebody fairly creepy inside, but that's a harmless, creepy person because it comes out in the stories. You know, I sometimes say to people, there are people who have complexes and fantasies, and they go to a psychiatrist and they pay $50, $70 an hour. I do the same thing, and people pay me. So,
but doesn't your reputation precede you when you go places? I mean, really, do they think that you're going to be this dark, kind of creepy guy when you're walking around town?
Yeah, somebody this morning when I came in said, I thought you would be wearing black.
But you did Shawshank Redemption.
I did, yeah. In fact, I was in a grocery store down in Florida, and I came around the corner of the aisle, and there's this elderly woman who was pushing her cart, and she looked at me and she said, I know who you are. You write those scary things, and that may be okay for some people. I respect you, but I don't read things like that. And I said, well, ma'am, I wrote the Shawshank Redemption and Stand By Me, and she said, no, you didn't.
And then walked away.
And then walked right past me. So you get a reputation. You're right, you get a reputation.
To like creepy doesn't make you creepy.
That's right. That's well said. I'm going to put that in my pocket and keep it.
But what scares you? Does anybody ever walk up and go to you and stoop boo and try to scare you?
Well, they do, but that doesn't really scare me. You know, on a real world level. No, I'm case hardened.
So what would really scare you?
Yeah.
Well, on a real world level, you know, I'm 67, I just had a birthday, and guys like me, guys who are actors, writers, sculptors, painters, we live by our wits, comedians, and I think that what really scares me is, you know, starting to strip my gears a little bit, Alzheimer's, dementia, things like that. I hate the idea of that. So,
me too.
but, you know.
Losing control.
Losing control, but also, you know, like spiders, bats, things that get stuck in your hair.
Does that bother you?
Yeah.
Spiders and bats? Yeah, me too. You know, there was a story about when you were hit by the van or a car years ago, and you're okay. We know that. Is it true that you actually bought that vehicle? And beat it up with a hammer?
No. My wife bought it, and the reason she bought it was she was afraid somebody would put it for sale on eBay.
Oh, okay.
So she had it put in a car crusher. It was a little tiny cube, I guess.
Okay,
You were a high school teacher, right? And then you wrote Carrie back in 1974, and it almost wasn't published.
Yeah.
Until?
I was in high school, teaching high school, when I wrote the book, and I had no idea it was going to be published. We had no phone in the house at that time because we had 2 kids and all the money had to go for them.
But it was your wife, right? So
my wife fished it out of the trash. I wrote about 4 pages. It started in a girl's locker room, and I said, I don't know anything about this. And she said, I will help you. Oh. She was a little amused, I think, by the whole idea.
We've been teasing you all morning about not liking Halloween. Is that true?
No. I'm sort of the Halloween Grinch.
How can that be, given what you do?
Because, you know, it's just like you get the scary reputation and you're sort of like the Santa Claus of Halloween. And we used to open the house and trillions of kids would come, and finally my wife said, no more. Let's just turn off the lights and cower in the basement.
You almost died. You're in good place now?
I'm in a good place, yeah. Yeah, and you know, I did almost die, and I got smashed up pretty well, and I don't think you ever completely recover from that, but the body's amazing, and I'm mostly okay.
Good to see you.
You're the first person we've ever had Twinkies in the green room for. I hope you appreciate the presentation. We worked hard.
It was like totally great to walk in and see Twinkies.
Just for you, Stephen King.
Such a pleasure.
Yes.
Such a pleasure to have you here.
For
Stephen
me too.
King. Yeah.
We feel the
350 million books sold or something like that. I mean,
sometimes I feel like that's my age.
It's incredible. No, it's incredible. All right. A Good Marriage opens October 3rd.